Hello everyone, how are you going? Welcome to We Aren't the Same, Canada versus USA. Now obviously we know that Canada leads in some regards and obviously the US is just a world leading country, and so I'm really interested to see how they're thinking that they aren't the same.
Hello! Hi, I'm Christina from the USA.
And I'm Sydney from Canada.
Oh, that throws me off so much.
Oh yeah, so I've been to Red Lodge, Montana. I've been to New York, New York. I've been to Anaheim, California. And I've been to like 5 places in Florida.
Well then, I mean, I know people have been saying that it's cheaper to fly sometimes internationally than domestically, but that's a lot of places for someone to be. And it wasn't like they were all on the East Coast, all on the West Coast. It was New York, LA, Florida. Like, you're just kind of covering the square of the US right there.
I've only been to Canada just to transfer to Olivia. So I've been to Toronto and Vancouver in the airport for like an hour or two, and that's about it.
Vancouver airport's really pretty.
I don't feel as though that really counts if you're only going to Vancouver Airport and I guess Toronto Airport as well. Where are you going to be transferring to though? I mean, unless you're going to Alaska, I don't really understand why you would be going up there to then transfer. Surely you would just go to, I don't know, either LAX or is it JFK on the West Coast? Yeah, on the East Coast and West Coast? Yeah, I think that's right.
I think our culture is like a little similar, but we definitely have a lot of differences as well. What I know about Canadians is they're known to be very like polite and kind compared to US.
Yeah.
Like
I've heard that
for the most part, like Canadians are just more polite. Every Canadian I met was really kind.
Well, geez, that was a very positive review. I mean, like I said, I didn't think there were going to be anything wrong between the two countries, but at the same time, there was nothing wrong. It was like, yeah, you're polite, you're kind, you're considerate, you're just all of these things, and, you know, my country isn't as much. I mean, at least from my perspective, the one thing that just always stands out and makes me laugh is that Canadians have a sorry rule or a sorry law that sorry doesn't kind of automatically mean you're guilty. I just love that. I think it sums up the entire culture of the country perfectly.
For me, like with Americans too, like of course it's not everyone. Yeah, it really depends. For the most of the Americans I've met, they've been really kind. Yeah, just really nice people and who have strong patriotism to their country as well.
Yes.
Of course, the ones that I have met have been the ones who go traveling a lot more and are more open-minded.
I was gonna say it's different because the Americans that I live abroad, they have a similar mindset, you know, wanting to explore the world.
I wonder if that's kind of a similar mindset to more Canadian mindset in a way. With all the different states in there, I can only assume that some of them are going to be more well-traveled and some of them are going to be a little bit more, I don't know, internal. And I guess it's not even to being about patriotic or anything. It's just about physically not leaving the country as much as some other places. And of course, that comes down to a whole range of factors from finances to time off and all those kind of things. But I wonder if there's actually people that go, oh, I would never even travel. I'm just going to go buy a car. Whereas in some other states, they're going, oh yeah, that $2,000, I'm saving that $2,000. I'm not for a car, not for anything like that, just to be able to travel the world.
I was gonna say it's different because the Americans that I live abroad, they have a similar mindset, you know, wanting to explore the world and adapt to different cultures. So it kind of depends.
All right, well, number 2, US and Canada are similar. Question. It's a weird kind of way to phrase a question, but a question, I guess.
I think we're quite different in many ways. I think maybe like progressively open-minded about certain issues. Other countries are a bit more like behind or conservative.
Really, that's quite interesting because I know it's 2 separate countries, but I feel as though virtually out of every single country in the world, you kind of don't have 2 countries that are more similar. I mean, of course, if you live there and you live in 2 different places, you're going to be like, no, this is different, that's different. But come on, to some degree, especially to me, I'm like, yeah, they're similar, but you know, it just depends what you're kind of after out of the 2.
I think a lot of Canadians, especially from the ones that I have met personally, if someone comes up to us and say like, oh, are you American? We'll be like,
yeah.
I mean, they're not wrong. You are American. You're just not from the USA. You know, you're from North America. So even though you do know what they're talking about and you're going, no, I'm not from the USA, they're not technically wrong if they were trying to be more specific and they actually knew what they were asking.
Offended, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not your country.
No, it's like, no.
It's not anything to be offended by unless there's pure malice behind it. It's just people trying to kind of be a little bit inquisitive in your life and really just because they're generally interested about where you're from. Hopefully, you know, if I was put in the line and people went, oh, you're from the UK, I'd go, okay, well, it's not the right, but it's not the worst guess in the world. And in the same way, I can only imagine it happens to everyone within Asia and all the people in Africa. And, you know, you've got these groups of people and people are trying to pick things out from you and just go, oh, where could you possibly be from? So I can kind of actually connect with you more. Difference between the US and Canada. Yes, look at that money.
The Canadian dollar.
Yeah.
It's very colorful. And it's made of plastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's made of plastic?
How does she not know
Yeah.
that? My God, I would have thought that all Americans would know this. And really, I would have thought that they would have seen one at some point in their lives, but I don't know. I guess not.
It doesn't rip.
Yeah.
And it's more sanitary, I guess they say. And
Oh,
it lasts
sure.
a lot longer
Really?
for sure.
More
And
sanitary.
it's definitely harder for counterfeiting. That's why they do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Ours is just like really green. And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I mean, I guess the 100 and the stamp of or seal or whatever it would be called is in green. But other than that, if you're saying that the rest of the bill is green, I'm just going to have to disapprove because, I mean, you're just kind of drawing conclusions on the fact that it's not white or colorful. You're just going, oh, yeah, it's green, or maybe at some point it was, but now it's just black and gray. And really, just look at the frayed edges. Honestly, they're probably just brand new banknotes and they already look like that. Whereas Canada's dollar and Australia's dollar, New Zealand's dollar, just always look like this. I mean, that's kind of not the Canadian dollar, that's pounds right there. It says that. Here we go. This is the vertical Viola Desmond one right here. I think that was a 20. And then they've also got one under here as well because I remember they love their purple. Maybe this one? Yeah, I think that's probably Canada. God, I'm trying to remember, and they've got different ones. But either way, that one front and center definitely isn't. And then the top one I think is Australian. Oh no, maybe because it has this little bit of a cutout. It's not Australian, but that's a very close blue either way compared to these ones on the right, which are just bundles of random, I don't know, it's like they haven't been dyed yet.
I've been to many other countries as well, and I always think it's like their money, the currency is really pretty. It's really colorful.
Oh, yeah.
It looks the same, except, you know, the people are different.
So the coloring.
Are they even the same size? I don't even know. Is the USA bills all the same size, or are they different sizes? I think the 100 might be different because I know in Australia, and I can only assume in Canada and all these different places because they're all built on the same system, the bills actually go, or the notes actually get bigger as you go up. You know, the 5 is the smallest and the 100 is the biggest, and they actually get bigger. Apparently they actually get thicker and heavier as well. I mean, I guess the heavier is just a byproduct of getting bigger, but they've got so many different things as we checked out in the Canadian money video. You know, you got braille, you've got ultraviolet windows, you've got transparent windows, you've got so many different things, and then you go to the US, or you come from the US and you just be so disappointed.
So the coloring though, it makes it so much better.
Yeah, and it breaks kind of easily. Like old money can get kind of, you know.
Yeah, like we used to have.
Ugh, I didn't even think about that. I'm sure it just starts to kind of fall apart, so you've put some piece of paper through the wash or something, you know, when it just kind of goes all fluffy in some regard. And really, what happens if it does go through the wash? Because it's illegal to destroy money, but does it kind of kill it if it goes through the washing machine? I don't know. But no, all the frayed edges and all of that. And really being, I guess that's how she means more sanitary, because it's kind of just going to soak a lot of things up over time, you know, sweat and everyone's just random wallet stuff compared to plastic, which, yeah, it's still going to touch the same things, but it's not just going to kind of be embedded in the same way.
We used to have a $1 and $2 bill back when I was a kid, but they got rid of them quite a while ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So we
right.
have coins instead. Right?
Yes.
Oh, so you...
The $1,
We have a
$2.
toonie and a loony.
There we go.
The toonie and a loony. So
Yes.
a toonie is a $2.
Oh.
But a loony is a $1.
Hey, there's the, I'm fairly sure if you're going to say it because it has a picture of a loon on it. There we go, the bird. I mean, I would like to see, because I read all the comments, what was it, the blue nose on the coin, because I didn't get to see it, or I didn't recognize it in that time that I saw the video. But no, I just love how they've got the kind of, I don't know, what is that shape? It's not an octagon, it's 10-sided either way. The entire thing is very similar to our 50-cent piece, which is one of the biggest coins in the world.
It's called a loony because there's a loon picture on it. That's the animal that's on our $1 currency, so we just call it a loony.
A loony.
If you need 2, instead of just saying, do you have 2 loonies?
Yeah.
You say, do you have a toonie?
Even though it's got a
that's
polar bear.
cute.
The $2 is a toonie.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I like the sound of that. That's cute.
Oh, here we go. I mean, I can even just add a third one into here. English word and pronunciation. Color versus color. Center versus center. I was about to say, like, what is that word? But about versus about.
English word and pronunciation is different.
Should we try? Okay, color,
Color,
center,
center,
about.
In Canadian, we
Oh,
use
she actually said it.
Okay.
Man, they go through it quickly, and I was going to try and add it, but here we go.
It's different.
Should we try? Okay, color,
Color,
Color.
center,
center,
Center.
about.
About. I mean, yeah, I guess you can kind of hear it there. Australia is very kind of just A-written. It's a bit hard to hear when you're also kind of listening and talking. But I guess if I had to kind of more phonetically spell it, or perfectly phonetically spell it, I'd say it's like C-O-L, color, either ER or A, just a straight A to AH maybe, color. Maybe you guys can tell me because it's a little bit hard to dissect, but yeah, either way, it's definitely not the same, obviously. And these guys are more similar than I would be, surely.
In Canadian, we have Canadian Rising, and so it's like our the OU area will have more of like whoop. Can you say the word ICE?
Ice.
So for me, it's ice. It goes up. Ice.
Always like when
Wait, what? That sounded virtually identical between the two of them.
Ice.
So for me,
Ice? Is she going down and she goes ice?
it's ice.
Ice. I'm really trying to listen to it and go, what is going on?
For me, it's ice.
She doesn't sound like she goes up to me. I don't know if I'm just hearing incorrectly, but it really doesn't sound like she goes up. I don't know. I'm just hearing the ice and it goes down.
Always like when I'm like, oh, that person's from Canada. It's like there's two things that I look out for is the A and
the EH.
Bag.
it sounds really different, like bag.
Bag sounds more like,
yeah, it's quick.
and then bag. Do you have a bag?
It sounds like they're saying beg almost in that regard. Like when she kind of over exaggerated, it's like beg, as though you were begging on the streets compared to bag, which is like that. That would be bag, not bag.
It sounds really different, like bag.
Bag sounds more like,
Yeah, when she says it there,
quick.
it sounds
and
like
then
bag.
Do you have a bag?
I don't have a bag.
Oh, well, isn't this timely? Look at this. Canada, 10 provinces, 3 territories, which we now know, and I already kind of knew about the 51-ish states anyway.
So yeah, Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories. For other people, we'll just say we have 13 provinces, but then
Right.
we'll specify like, okay, it's actually, we have 3 territories.
That's interesting. We have a bunch of different states, and the laws are also different.
Yeah, that's the thing with America. They're just so, I don't know, all the states seem so independent compared to other countries, or I'm just going to use Australia because that's the one I know, where everyone kind of does their own thing to some degree, but it's all under the same federal law and everyone's following and doing the same things. Whereas in America, you hear like one state does this and the other state is completely opposed to it, and that doesn't really ever happen in Australia, at least.
Depending on each state, so it's almost like states are its own country.
Yeah.
I say I'm from Massachusetts.
It's the United Countries
like,
of America.
It's almost like I have this kind of like pride. It's almost like that's like my country because every state is so different and has their own different culture. So it's
So
almost
weird.
like we live in different countries.
Yeah. All of us too, we have our pride to our province. And we have our stereotypes like, oh, you're from BC? Oh, I'm from BC too. Oh, you know the Albertans, they drive crazy because you're from BC. So you'll say like, oh, the other province has like drives so much worse than us.
Well, at least by hearing that, it certainly makes me feel better because it must just be an international thing. No matter where you're from, I mean, country to country, state to state, people just like to kind of nitpick people, and whether it's just out of, I don't know if you'd say the goodness of their heart, but you know, a friendly kind of atmosphere, just kind of trying to annoy them by saying, oh, this is worse, that's worse, just kind of big up your own state or province or territory, whatever it may be. Which is the fact that no matter where you are, the USA, Canada, I don't think that the UK has any states. I mean, maybe that's just kind of, they just do it to Ireland, Scotland, and Wales and things.
The Albertans will say that BC drivers drive horribly. And so we all have our pride for our province and state.
It's so true.
Damn.
Yeah, the population. Yeah, Canada is bigger, but
The state
America's
has more
like
people.
so much more people.
I think it's also because a lot of people still have the like American dream. Immigrants, they want to go to the States for the
that's
American
true.
dream.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know why Canada
Really?
just doesn't have as many like considering our population.
Maybe Canada has areas that are more mountainous. There can't be people
Yeah.
There
living
still
there.
are, there still are.
I mean, yeah, we know that Canada is very sparsely populated, but I don't think it's because of the mountains. I think it's more because of the cold. If you had to pick something that is geologically related or weather related to the entire thing. But no, that took me off guard when she says that so many people still have the American dream and so they go back south. I mean, does that mean that half of Canada or half of America is Canadian? I don't know. I mean, it would certainly help to explain the massive, 10 times population gap between the two countries that are relatively similar in size. But I guess it also comes down to the fact that the USA just has so many individual little states and cities and all these things, whereas Canada, for instance, just has 10 or I guess 13 provinces and territories where you just kind of spread out. If you have one major city, that's where the population lives, but you don't have 51 times that. And so yeah, it certainly adds up very, very quickly when you have all these little cities and everyone just living all over the country compared to just, 85% of people just living right next to the coastline or the international border with the USA?
There still are. Like I'm right in the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
That'd
a
be cool.
weather thing too.
6 months of winter.
Oh yeah.
It's okay, you get used to it, eh?
Wait, did you
6
hear that
months
at
of
the end?
winter?
She
Oh,
said
yeah.
it. Oh, finally, I was wondering if she was going to say
It's
it.
okay, you get used to it, eh?
I don't even think they put in the subtitles. Where is it? But yeah, it's okay when you get used to it, and then that's just it. They didn't put it in because it's like, oh, what the hell? It's too hard to kind of explain that. But I just feel as though that was so subconscious. She didn't even think about it. It just came out as a way to finish the sentence, which is great and funny. Weather.
It snows a lot in the Canada, but also in the States, so too.
In the Canada,
where.
what?
It snows a lot in the Canada.
Why did she say that? Is that how people refer to Canada? In the Canada. I mean, they also said it in the subtitles. I read it, and so, wow, that's really confusing. I don't know if she's just kind of having a verbal trip up or what, because the only other time I've heard it said anything remotely like that was in the Queen Victoria Heritage Minute, where they were talking about, oh, there's going to be another rebellion in the Canadas, but not in Canada or in the Canada, like she said.
It snows a lot in the Canada, but also in the States, so too.
It depends where in the States, because where I'm from,
Boston.
Massachusetts, Boston, like
it
snows so much.
But is it cold though?
And it gets so cold.
Where I lived
Hang
in
on.
Canada.
What do you mean, is it getting cold? Surely if it's snowing, it's getting cold to some extent. And if it snows so much, it surely has to be cold so much.
Where I lived in Canada, it goes minus 50. And then plus wind chill. So it can be minus 60 sometimes.
What?
With the wind chill. And so I still have to go to school.
Yeah.
And so I walk to school 20 minutes. It's so much.
I'm speechless. You still have to go to school in minus 60 with wind chill or minus 50. And she's going to be talking about Celsius, I can only assume. Minus 50 degrees and you're still walking to school. That is ridiculous. And how do you even go to school? Because surely your clothes and all your jackets and everything at minus 50 are going to be so massive and everything, because you don't want to snap freeze as soon as you step outside, but they're going to be so massive that you're not even going to be able to walk. You kind of just have to snowball roll your entire way around. I mean, I guess it's going to be easy because it's in snow, but then you're going to end up just not being able to get in the front door of the school because you're going to be this massive snowball. And so yeah, minus 60 degrees. I mean, to be honest, I think it doesn't matter regardless of whether it's Fahrenheit or Celsius. Either way, minus 60 is just still minus 60.
It's so much better to walk than to take the bus because you have to wait. Transportation in Canada, in my city that I was living in, was not the best. So you have to wait 30 minutes for your bus. You're going to be freezing, especially in minus 50.
Yeah, absolutely. You betcha you're going to be freezing if you're just having to standing at a bus stop for 30 minutes. I mean, I guess if you're walking to school in only 20 minutes, it's going to be quicker as well. But either way, the fact that you have to walk, like surely there's so much snow on the ground, and so you're just going to be walking through. I don't know, I guess maybe they clean the footpaths and everything every single day so people can walk. But surely with minus 60 and minus 50, it's just going to be snowing so much that by the time, you start the trip at 20 minutes, and by the end of the 20th minute, you're just going to be a meter under snow again. I have no idea how people manage that. And geez, that's insane.
But yeah, I mean, if you're living in like Florida, if you're living in Cali, then it's warm weather all year round.
Vancouver is our warmest area in the winter, and so we make fun of people from Vancouver.
We say that about like people from like the warmer place.
Oh, I love that. No matter where you're from, whether you're just like completely, like 20 degrees more north or whatever it may be, you're just kind of going, oh, we live in the cold section, and then the people above you go, no, we live in the cold section, and the people above them go, no, we live in the cold section, and then you go all the way up to the top of the Inuit. It's like, guys, it's not even that cold. And really, to be fair, it is about just where you live, what your body's used to. Your body kind of acclimatizes to within, I would say, about probably a 40-degree temperature range, outside with clothes and everything. To be comfortable is probably more like a 20-degree temperature range. If you're going from 10 to 30, you could probably do that. Or if you're going from minus 10 to 10, or if you're going from, I don't know, minus 50 to minus 20 even, you can stretch it out to 30 degrees for that one. Either way, your body just generally acclimatizes, and so people go, oh, this is freezing. You go, okay, it's fine. But what happens when those cold people come to a hot climate? Because then they're absolutely screwed, because unless they're in water, there is no way their body's going to be able to keep them cool enough. Whereas you can generally just keep putting on jackets to keep yourself warmer.
In Boston with our iced coffee, like a blizzard, we're having a barbecue outside when it's like snowing.
My dad's outside barbecuing at minus 20, and there's snow all around the barbecue.
Why would you not just cook inside? I mean, I guess in terms of smoke and things, but surely you have some kind of covered area as well. I mean, I guess maybe she's not talking that it's uncovered. I'm just picturing, where is it, this guy out here that was just kind of sitting in the snow, no covering or anything like that. But look at him. He's only in like board shorts with nothing on. And maybe it's not minus 50, but it's still at least minus something. I mean, I have no idea what he's got there because they kind of look like meat pies, but maybe they're crumbed something. Man, I'd like to know. And I mean, I guess at least with barbecuing, it's kind of a hot ordeal anyway. So you just kind of press up to the barbecue, not too close, but just press up and absorb all the warmth as well as much as you can. But man, I just cannot believe that people are just kind of chilling literally outside in minus 20 degrees.
My dad's outside barbecuing at minus 20 and there's snow all around the barbecue. And he's like,
yeah, we're used to
slowly
driving
melting
in that
away.
kind of weather.
oh god, yeah, definitely.
What?
What?
Wait.
What is that? Is that
Milk.
Is that powder or like in a bag?
No, it's bag milk.
I hope they bring the photos back.
Bag milk?
Yeah, and so you have like a special, it's like a pitcher. There's some people who do not know how to cut a bag milk. You cut the one corner, not very, like some people like, but first you have to put it inside the holder and then you cut the little
What?
part.
Oh my god, what kind of random thing am I looking at right now? Here we go. So you've got a pitcher or a jug, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And then, yeah, I can understand how you kind of then make it a milk carton in terms of cutting the corner off. But I just want to take it back to the start because, oh, here we go. Yeah. So it comes in, what? I'm so confused. It almost looks like there's a glass here. Maybe that's because it is coming from there, but I can only imagine that some people also don't use it in a kind of a jug or anything. They just kind of somehow manage to pour it out of a bag and then rubber band the top or something. I have no idea, but that is really weird. Is it because there is less plastic involved in terms of it's not as thick or it's easier to fill? I would think it'd be harder to fill because somehow the factory has to kind of hold it together and whatnot. And then let alone how does anyone kind of seal it back up when they're kind of done with it? You know, is it just kind of going to stay out as though it's just milk on a bench? I don't understand. How is this a thing? I mean, I understand if we were living in medieval times and you had some kind of bladder to be able to store it in, you don't have anything, but we have the technology, people. I can understand that you're trying to be nice and simple just with a plastic bag, but if you're going to go that far, just kind of get rid of the bag and, I don't know, just kind of carry it with your hands.
Then you cut the little part and then you can pour your milk out.
That is so weird.
We don't have it anymore. We just usually have jugs now.
Oh, well, at least they've actually just kind of evolved, you know. I was worried that people in Canada were still living in the Middle Ages with their milk bags, but at least now in terms of what she just said, that it doesn't really exist anymore. I mean, can you buy milk in bulk? Like, can you buy, I don't know, a 20-litre milk bag? You know, you can get rice in bulk and all these different things, but can you get milk in a bag in bulk? That'd be lovely. I mean, I don't really understand how you carry the thing. It'd be so wibbly and wobbly on your shoulder if you're trying to carry it. And also, surely there are just so many times where the bag pops and then it's just a massive cleanup as well, where I feel as though, I don't know, the stronger plastic in the, what would you call it? Container or drug, whatever you want to call it, it's just not going to pop and not going to break and put milk everywhere as much.
Oh, do you know why? Maybe it uses less plastic. The carton looks like a thicker kind of plastic.
I think it's actually more environmentally friendly for the bigger cartons because it's easier to recycle
Yeah, that's true.
than
why?
the bags.
And the box. Bagged drinks are just not really, unless it's Capri Sun. I never see it in the States.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I never really
never
thought
seen that.
of anything with the bag milk before, and then like I saw a whole bunch of videos of people who are like, Canada has bag milk? What is this?
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
A little bit different is certainly an understatement. I just don't understand who thought it was a good idea in the first place. I didn't even consider the fact that it also comes in a box, and so it's a little bit disappointing that you can't just sling it over your shoulder like a rice sack. But yeah, then it isn't even really more environmentally friendly because you've got plastic and cardboard and you're having to deal with all of that. And then it is also going to be more difficult to wash out to be able to recycle correctly. And so yeah, I don't understand who the hell invented that in the first place because, I don't know, I guess someone thought it was a good idea, but it just really, in hindsight, doesn't seem like the greatest idea unless you're just trying to make something a little bit different and get some people talking about it.
Yeah, I don't know why we started having bag milk, but it's
She
it's
doesn't even know.
convenient. Like it's easy to stack.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
What about, I mean, I guess it's a little bit different, but even when you just see kind of long life meals where soy milk, almond milk, all of those kind of things, they're in virtually perfect squares or rectangular boxes. And so in terms of just kind of shipping them around, it's not really any more efficient. You know, you're going to have a bag in a cardboard box, there's going to be air in there. Whereas if you just kind of fill the entire cardboard box, so say with the milk in the first place, then that is just going to be kind of the most perfect packaging you can get in terms of just one after another, after another, after another, compared to a general milk carton, if you want to call it that, where it's a little bit more rounded and things aren't going to be filling up. So I don't know. I feel as though the kind of the square container, in terms of just pure efficiency, is absolutely the best one to go with. Other differences.
Like also in pertaining to weather, like in Canada, we can have an 80-degree difference. It can be
Yeah.
minus 40 and we can go up to plus 40 in some areas
Wow.
How?
as well. So like, of course, Canada and the States too, we all have 4 seasons.
Depends.
Our seasons are a bit longer. Like I heard
warmer or
from back
colder?
home, they still had snow until end of April.
Oh,
End of April. Wait, so January, February, March, April. Wow, okay then. That's a little bit difficult to understand in terms of April, but when's it going to be starting? Because I would have thought that, I mean, I guess that's the end of, what would that be? That'd be the end of spring? Yeah, that's towards the end of spring, and so yeah, that's going to be a hell of a long time when you're still having snow in the end of spring, the poor fellas.
Oh no!
Yeah, and so by that time, like, yeah, we're all like, okay. I think it was
Surely
last
it's just
year or the year
sludgy.
before, they had close to or about 2 meters of snow in 24 hours.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I mean in terms of surely at minus 50 and minus 60 degrees, that's what you're dealing with. And so that's what I'm imagining when people are saying they're walking to school still. I don't understand how it's even possible.
They were like snowed in. They were and they had the speed camera, like
Oh,
time
so
lapse,
they can show it.
and it showed in 24 hours.
Wow.
Crazy.
Well, that is going to be something that I have to try and find, because I just want to see this crazy amount of snow dumped in 24 hours. I mean, I guess there's probably a whole bundle of them because it happens all over the world to some degree, but I've never seen or heard anything to that extent where you're getting 2 meters of snow. Like, I don't even know how much water content that is. How does the atmosphere hold that much water and then freeze it? But either way, how does it just dump that much onto the ground in a 24-hour period? That's insane. And I wonder if anywhere they kind of have an equivalent in terms of how much rain that would be in terms of millimeters, because obviously it's less condensed than things, but either way, that's a lot of water. I just can't get over that fact. And I guess just based off Christine, I think her name was, for the lady from America, she was just absolutely gobsmacked. And so I feel as though, considering she's like from a cold area and then she's just blowing away or being blown away by what the Canadian Sydney was saying, then that's just completely ridiculous, you know. It certainly just helps to put it in perspective, because I have nothing to kind of base it off where she's going, holy moly, I've never heard anything like that, and I live in a cold place. So I guess just once again it shows that Canada is just an area of extremes. You go from minus 40 or even minus 60 apparently all the way up to positive 40. You guys have even said 45. I hope you're not getting any warmer or any colder, because people just shouldn't be able to survive in those temperatures really, unless you're in a spacesuit and out of space. I mean, like I said, I feel as though from an outsider's perspective they are a lot more similar than these two might have thought they are, but from an insider's perspective I can understand how you go, no, we're not the same, we're different in this way, we're different in that way, we don't have bag milk, we do have bag milk, we do have snow, we don't snow. Or even if you're just kind of making fun of people from a different state, no matter what it is, we're kind of related, but we're also a little bit different, and that's just what makes every country unique, and that's what makes it great. But anyway, in saying that, I reckon I'm going to call it there. So thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to do the YouTube algorithm things down below. Also, if this is the first video you're watching, then make sure to check out just any other videos I've had. I've got heritage minutes, international videos, Australian videos, you name it, I've got it. Also, make sure to check out the original video down in the description below, or hey, maybe even just want to consider subscribing so that you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all, have a good one and see ya.